The only constant is change. And that's what I've heard that years ago, and that is so true. And that really sums it all up. I'm Bill Purdy. I work at the warehouse. I've been with Delta Sonic for 40 years. Started off at an entry-level position and worked my way right through management, where I spent most of my career. Well, I started at Walden Avenue as what was then is called a detailer. We wiped cars inside with big headphones on, and my manager, he was like, well, he goes, you ever think you want to move up? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, this was in 1982. And I says, you're right. I says, this isn't what I want to do. I want to move forward. But what happened was they lost a bunch of people on what they call a special projects crew. So I went and worked with them for a few months until I finally got back to the car washing end of it. And from there, though, I worked with all kinds of different managers. I worked my way up. By 1987 or 88, I got my first car wash as being a supervisor, and it was great. But I got to learn, and the thing was, that whole process was amazing, because here I was in Buffalo, I was working, and I was working at the Main Street location. At that time, we were just beginning what we call the touchless car wash. So I got to be in on the ground floor of that, and I got to work with the people who were putting it together. I ended up going to Chicago. I got to open up Glenwood and Tinley Park, and we set their car washes up. What an experience it was. I mean, getting to see different cities and how different things were done and how these buildings were different than ours in Buffalo at the time. And then from there, I began my management career going through Delta Sonic. Well, my current role is warehouse supervisor. I came into this position 3 years ago. I left the car washes due to illness, and it opened up a whole brand new career. It's totally different than what I've done for the past 30 years. I do miss what I did do. I loved working with the customers, the people, the hiring, and this is a great job because you always learn, and I'm still learning to this day. That's the one thing with Delta Sonic, I've always kept learning, and that's what keeps you coming back here every day. When my 40th anniversary came, the emails were incredible, the phone calls were incredible, and you say you feel like a part of a team. You are a part of the team. And that's always, whenever Delta Sonic's employees needed anything, they were there. They were standing right there beside you, and it's awesome. It was a great place to grow, a great place to learn, a great place to be. And I just loved it here. When I got into this job, I never thought I'd stay. I really didn't think I was going to stay, but then I stayed, I liked it. And it's just this whole company's philosophy right from the beginning. But I think it was what really impressed me was the hard work of everybody around me. And I'm talking all the general managers, the bosses, the owner, they were not afraid to work, and I liked that. And they were not afraid to teach, and I liked that even more. When I originally started, there was 10 locations in Buffalo only. That was it. And now, with 30, 31 locations, we're all over the place. And we're getting bigger, and now we've grown into all these different departments. We've gotten so in touch with our employees that we want to make this such a great workplace. You don't want to leave. And the funny thing to me, it was that all along. I've always enjoyed, and watched how this company grew, and to see what it is now to what it is then. Other retail businesses are gone, but we're still here, and we're getting bigger and stronger. That's a lot to be said. That's a feather in all of our caps, and especially the companies.